resolve that the issue could be done through the political solution that will be required and other measures that all the leaders, the organs of the party will be committed so that we can go together and resolve this issue with minimal friction and division or rancor.
Moving on, a federal high court in Port Harcourt will rule on the 21st of August on the rightful lawyer to represent the PDP in a suit by the Boot Party in Rivers State. Recall that on June 28th, when the matter was mentioned, two senior advocates of Nigeria, Joshua Musa and Rashak Gold, said they were representing the PDP. At the hearing on Wednesday, the national legal advisor of the PDP, Kamaldeen Ajibade, asked the court not to allow Joshua Musa to represent the party and also to strike out all the processes he filed for lack of authority. Mr. Ajibade then asked the court to allow him, as a PDP national legal advisor, to file all processes on behalf of the party on the matter. In response, a senior advocate of Nigeria said the court rejected the submission made by the PDP national legal advisor, Kamaldeen Ajibade. Dr. Musa also argued that the exhibits brought by Mr. Ajibade are not signed documents and cannot have legal value. Meanwhile, Justice Obele also adjourned to August 21st to hear the suits filed by Boot Party and civil society organizations in the state over the eligibility of the Martin Amehula-led lawmakers. The judge adjourned both matters to enable the court to decide on the rightful lawyer to represent the PDP as the party seeks to be joined in the suit. While the Boot Party is challenging the eligibility of Martin Amehule and 25 other lawmakers following their defection to the APC last year, the CSOs are asking the court to interpret the lawmakers' defection. Now, some indigents of Boni local government area of Rivers State are hoping for improved security on the waterways following the Supreme Court judgment, which granted full financial autonomy to local government. In an interview with our correspondents, they urge local leaders to ensure the provision of social amenities and accountability in governance.
This is the time where people would really want to begin to ask questions, because right now you have all of the finances coming direct. The first thing I feel they should address on the island is internal road. The roads are very bad. Then social amenities. Our health facilities are not quality enough. The water we have is not consumable. I can't count homes that can actually consume the water we use on the island. It's really bad.
Prior to this time, we have not really had any government presence. We have issues of insecurity on the waterways, internal road construction, connectivity between communities that are in Boni Kingdom, educational centers.
Similarly, some residents of Kana local government area are hoping for infrastructural and human capacity development.
The expectations of the people in my LGA will be human capacity development, to provide the LGA with lots of opportunities, such as owning their own institutions at the LGA level. I also expect a judicious use of this opportunity. In most cases, they will also be probed or investigated by the FG.
The chairman is supposed to focus on agriculture. Agriculture is one of the basic needs for the community.
It's a welcome development. In Kana local government area, we have a bad road network. The chairman does not have to wait for the state government. We're expecting more projects from our administrator: power projects, water projects, road projects, healthcare projects, educational projects.
As you may know, local government will receive 20.6% of the country's monthly revenue allocations directly into their accounts, while the state receives 26.72% and the federal government retains 52.68%. Still to come, President Tinubu appoints new head of civil service. Stay with us.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, BOT Executive,
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Secretary to the River State Government, Tammy Danagogo, says caretaker committees of the 23 local government areas are to head the local organizing committees to distribute the 21,650 bags of grains donated to the most vulnerable in River State by the federal government. He said this while representing Governor Fubara at the state government and NEMA joint flag-off of the federal government grain distribution in Port Harcourt on Wednesday. He, however, encouraged the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to consider bringing food items that are easily consumed by indigents of the South like gari, rice, or beans to its next intervention.
We view this intervention as very timely and very welcome. And we want to assure you, NEMA, and assure Mr. President and the people of River State that His Excellency the Governor has, in conjunction with NEMA, put in place adequate machinery to ensure that this food gets to the farthest part of this state, so that every section of this state will benefit from what you have provided today.
Our correspondent reports that the food items consist of about 3,680 bags of rice, 80 bags of gari, and 17,970 bags of corn. Meanwhile, an agriculture consultant, Charles Okoro, is wondering what criteria will be used to select the most vulnerable for the distribution of bags of grains in River State. Ms. Okoro spoke in an interview with correspondent Onyeka Chimusu.
At the criteria, what was the yardstick they used to identify who are the poor people? So I'm talking about we getting an everlasting solution to the what stops Thailand doing that. Their farmers, they are encouraged. They created an enabling environment for them. This is a capital fly. You have used the money that we could have used to turn around the economy of the agricultural sector and go and boost the money already existing in those foreign lands like Thailand and other countries where they have.
Also, the chairman of the Rice Producers, Processors, Millers and Marketers Association in River State, Godwin Wagwago, believes that the best way to address the rising cost of food items is for the federal government to support farmers with different incentives.
We shouldn't depend on the importations only. Production, processing, and also exporting out will help us. Farmers should be encouraged to go to farm. The federal government should allocate at least two bulldozers with 5 tractors to each of the 774 local governments, including Abuja, so that these equipments will be nearest to the farmers and it will be more accessible to farmers. What we are talking of is commercial agriculture. It's not the time we will go back again, tilling the soil with primitive ways.
Mr. Godwin also called for a permanent solution to the security of farmers and their product.
Security is very key in agricultural emancipation. We should tighten on the security. We should check the activities of herdsmen and sign into law the new law proposed by the House of Assembly pertaining ranching so that farmers can go to farm. It's not where a farmer will invest on a field and what he invested will be damaged by the herders.
As you may know, the federal government said it has granted a 150-day duty-free import window for food commodities like husk brown rice and wheat, and the suspension of duties, tariffs, and taxes for the importation of some food items. And now a human capacity development expert, Chinedu Ewuzie, says there is need for thorough research and understanding of the people's needs before implementing advanced policies. It follows President Bola Tinubu's announcement that 24 million Nigerians are set to benefit from the federal government's Human Capital Development Initiative. While speaking on Nigeria for FM's Talking Figures, Mr. Ewuzie said that every country must ensure there is a thorough assessment to identify the problems and understand the people's needs.
sure that you any advanced country, before you even come up with any policy to implement, there's research to suggest and identify the peculiarities of the different geographic areas. It's like producing a product. You want to be sure of who's going to consume it. Developing a policy or injecting funds, you need to be sure who are the people, what are the different areas. You must have research. You must have some scientific process for establishing what the challenges are and what the different regions are. So that's the first step. Let's have that basis and understand what the needs are and come back and develop policies that match needs.
Mr. Ewuzie also urged organizations to have a training and development plan for their staff.
Doing business in Nigeria is tricky. It's like balancing so many things at the same time. And you need to be sure that your employees have the right capacity and the right attitude to be able to cope with the challenges of doing business in Nigeria. Every business is going through one, turbulence in a good way or in a bad way. Every organization, no matter how small, has to have the training and development. You must sit down and ask yourself, look, this is where I'm going. My business is 1 million today. I want to grow it to 2 million. First, identify where you're going as a business. Identify the skill sets that you require to take you there. But if you don't have a plan right now, you're being fired.
Now recall that the federal government announced earlier this month that 24 million Nigerians are set to benefit from the federal government's Human Capital Development Initiative. The policy aims to improve education, healthcare, and skills training across the nation. The Talking Figures radio program is a business show which airs every Wednesday by 2 p.m. It is hosted by Choma Eziwafo. Now, some residents of Elechi Beach in Mile 1 axis of Jubu Port Harcourt metropolis have called on the River State government to prioritize their environment by providing a public toilet in the area. It followed a resolution passed by the Victor Okojumbo-led River State House of Assembly for the construction of public toilet facilities across all 23 local government areas. The step by the lawmakers aims at combating open defecation in the state. Speaking with our correspondent, the residents said it would improve their hygiene and health.
Because mostly our married women and men are suffering. We don't have any toilet. Our own is a waterfront, and that is why we need it. It's not like upland area where you can dig a sock away. So we are only appealing to government if they can give us a Piaz latrine system such that is being obtainable as Agonima, Opopo, Buguma, waterfront.
We don't have toilets here. It's necessary building a toilet system in Elechi because it will be profitable for us so that women and men too can have access to toilets.
We need up to 4 toilets because the place is big and large.
Away from that, the National Assistant General Secretary of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Chris Onyeka, says if no agreement is reached today, the NLC leaders will decide on their next line of action. Mr. Onyeka spoke on Nigerian 4FM's Morning Crossfire.
The law says they must pay from the day the last one expired. That is the law. But we know that Nigeria is a lawless society. We cannot afford those who think that they can disobey the law. But in any case, we will not wait forever for the minimum wage to be negotiated. And we will lose our patience. We will ask government to do it immediately because our life cannot be kept in abeyance. We are going to ensure that government, that this particular minimum wage is negotiated and becomes law as soon as possible. We continue negotiating. If tomorrow we do not arrive at the kind of conclusion that we want, the national leadership will decide on the next line of action. Normally, we have our organs, the National Executive Council. The leadership will summon such organ. Such organ is made up of people from all parts of Nigeria. They will all sit down. It's nearly 700 something persons. We sit down in a meeting and decide on the next line of action. What that particular organ decides, people like us will obey. Whatever decision they take, we obey.
Mr. Onyeka also said the NLC supports peaceful protests against economic hardship, emphasizing that the federal government can afford the 250,000 naira minimum wage. In other news, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of D.D. Wilson Jack as head of the Civil Service of the Federation with effect from August 14, 2024. Her appointment was announced in a statement by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale. We go on a short commercial break. As President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19 and is suffering mild symptoms. On the news this morning, you heard PDP governors have declared their stance on the political crisis in Rivers State. And on the foreign scene, U.S. White House says President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID again. The news was edited by Chioma Ezenwafo. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Monyele. Many thanks for listening.